This thing looks so different from the others.
Sounds like a Samsung thing to do.
They need to sell more.
And then boom, here's the next big thing.
So you think there is a gap, so you think Samsung is lagging behind.
I think we're getting there.
And what about the price?
Hello everyone, welcome to another PhoneArena Show, episode 7. We're still counting them.
Yep.
And this one is about Unpacked.
Hello everyone, Samsung Unpacked is coming up very soon.
Very, very soon.
Big event in the world of tech news and tech launches.
Yeah, and we're expecting quite a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of devices are about to be dropped by Samsung. Probably so, yeah, and quite soon. So let's get started and not waste time because we have a lot of ground to cover.
And this one is all about one form factor that is yet to establish itself.
Yeah.
Which is the foldable phones.
Yep.
Foldable phones are this topic that is maybe a little bit divisive.
Yeah.
Some people love them, some people don't, and there are many people who haven't even used them yet.
Right.
Is that about to change with the new devices that will come at Unpacked? What do you think?
I don't know if that one particular thing is about to change about foldables. I guess you either hate them or love them. But the big question, to me at least, is Samsung's current status in that market gonna change a little bit? I.e., are they gonna close the gap a little bit? Compared, not a little bit, but completely compared to other competitors from other markets.
So you think there is a gap, so you think Samsung is lagging behind?
Yeah, to an extent, in some departments, let's say. I mean, software-wise, I don't think there's any gap. I think I would pick the Samsung One UI experience over Honor, Huawei, those kind of guys. On the hardware front, I think they did many good things with the Fold 5. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of gap to close there, or in foldable parlance, let's say a crease to close. Yeah, mostly the crease, a little bit in the thinness, a little bit in the weight in terms of reduction. Those are the main things I believe that Samsung should address with this new launch.
So we have basically two different devices. You have the bigger Fold,
Yeah.
and you have the smaller Flip, and both of them are going to get refreshed. That's what we expect. So you think these changes or fixes are happening to both of them, or maybe just the bigger one, the one that we're kind of more interested in, the Fold?
I believe both products are going to get a refresh design-wise. They're pretty much expected to. In terms of the design language. So, for example, at least based on leaked photos, promo ads, and so on, we're looking at a slight redesign here where the outer edges of the Fold, I don't know, I'm not sure about a Flip on that one, but for the Fold, they're going to get more rectangular, more squarish, let's say, not so rounded on the outer side, which I think I see as a good departure, just because the product is going to look more symmetrical, at least when closed.
Yeah, and more similar to the Galaxy S series and the Galaxy Note series of the past. I think no other brand does this with the angular shape. I think Samsung is quite unique with that. Maybe a few brands have done this in the past, but right now most devices have rounded edges.
Yeah.
So this is a very distinct Samsung look, and once you see it, you know you're holding a Samsung device. So that kind of helps with brand identity, and it also gives you a little bit more screen space. But it also has one downside, is when you're holding the phone in your hand like this. Right now I'm just holding it, and you can see that with the more rounded edge, it is kind of fits better in the hand, and it's not so sharp. And if you
depends on which hand you hold it in.
Yeah, and maybe it depends on how used you are to this. But this might reduce the comfort a little bit for some people.
Probably is gonna reduce it a little bit, though. If you have a case on, that maybe is also gonna, add a little bit of a buffer between the sharp edges in your hand.
And so what's your take on cases for foldable phones? Because this is, for me, like, they're pretty big, right? And if you slap a case on top, Like right now, I have the Galaxy Fold 5 here, and it has the Samsung original case here
Yeah.
with the S Pen, and it's Samsung calls this the slim case, by the way. But yeah, maybe for foldable standards, it's kind of slim, but
Yeah.
it still makes the phone quite bulky. Now,
It's not bad, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't risk it at this point. Personal
Yeah.
preference depends on how secure you feel the product in your hand. These days, I find them a little bit too slippery most of the time. So I hate the bulk, but I would take that.
you'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah. Especially for such an expensive product. But back to the redesign though. So these slight or maybe meaningful, I don't know, design language tweaks. But the major issues people have had with the Fold is the distinguishably narrow front display.
Oh, that's the big thing, right?
Yeah, that's the big thing. I kind of like this one. I like this look. I understand where Samsung is coming from, basically. because
Where is it coming from?
it's
Because I
coming-
don't.
it's coming from the place that the foldable phone is going to be thick
Yeah.
for the foreseeable future. And so the thicker it is, the more narrower you want it to be, just because that's where you can make it smaller, basically, and make it more convenient to hold, carry around. For example, if you pick this up and compare the feel next to something like, let's say, the OnePlus Open,
Yeah.
which has a great design as well, but it's considerably wider and has a larger cover screen.
Yeah.
So it's both thick and it's wide, and it becomes a little bit too much, where this at least makes it manageable.
Oh, okay.
So I understand why they did that. At the same time, I understand the frustration many people are having with this. So, and the rumors are that Samsung is going to make it a little bit wider, and most people are probably hoping for considerably wider, like proper phone display.
Yeah.
Let's say it's still going to be maybe on the narrower side, but again, I would understand why Samsung is doing that.
So basically, you have other foldables that have much wider screens and basically mimic a regular smartphone
Yeah.
experience on the outer cover screen. And as far as we see the rumors, you're saying that Samsung is not gonna go that route. It's gonna stick with maybe make it just a tiny bit wider, but still it's gonna be a distinctly narrow screen.
It's going to be slightly wider. At least these are the current rumors, but it won't go as far as to make it like as wide as the others.
And the reason is just because it's easier to grip.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure I agree with that reasoning, but for some people that sure might be the case. So at least we know what's the logic behind this decision. What else is new about the Fold 6? What else is notable?
So the big one is the slight change in the aspect ratio of the front cover screen. The crease is the other one where I'm yet to see any very specific rumors about that, but still the word out there is they're gonna make it a little bit less noticeable, which is to be expected. And
Yeah.
obviously a big crease is like the undoing of a foldable phone, so we all want to see that go away as soon as possible.
I think Samsung said something to the like they fixed the crease last year or reduced it a little bit, but that was barely noticeable if you ask me. And this year, if there are going to be some changes, I hope they're bigger and more noticeable because it's still very visible crease here, right in the middle.
It is.
It's a big one.
I mean, you get used to it, but if you compare it with the OnePlus Open, for example,
Yeah, it's a big difference,
yeah.
right?
It's way better on the Oppo.
Yeah.
On the OnePlus.
On the-
It's all the same.
Another interesting rumor I heard is about this outer screen. So Samsung has this probably the coolest technology in the Galaxy S24 Ultra, and a very simple one is the anti-reflective outer screen.
Yeah.
So this is a bit out there, not certain for sure, but some rumors say that we might get the same anti-reflective technology on the Fold 6, but only on the outer screen.
Makes sense.
Which would be pretty cool. I would be really excited about this improvement, especially now in the summer. And I heard another rumor that I find also quite interesting is that Samsung might make this the first dust-proof Galaxy Fold.
That's gonna be great.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
great and give you a peace of mind, and maybe going back to using a case. If you have a dust-proof or waterproof device, you might be more likely to use it without a case.
Yeah, doesn't it have any protection? It has IP something, right?
It has IPX8 as far as I remember.
X8, okay.
So it doesn't have any specific dust proofing, but it does have waterproofing now.
Waterproofing,
So
okay.
if they add the dust proofing, that would be like the next step.
And for this product, I would say the dust proofing is the more crucial
Definitely.
thing to get right.
That's the
Because,
big danger.
Yeah, those little super small particles, they get inside under the screen, and very often you read on the forums, like you see people having their screens broken, hinges stuck, and so on, just because somehow, somewhere, some particle just went in there,
Yeah.
and it destroyed another otherwise great product. Well,
Yeah, but otherwise, in terms of specs, of course, a new processor, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is coming.
welcome upgrade as always.
And previous Fold models have also had flagship processors. The Fold 5 had 12 gigs of RAM, which is a lot. And
Do you think that I wanted to ask you about the RAM situation on Android, because I'm not really sure about it. So this thing has 12 gigs of RAM,
Yep.
and the next one, the Fold 6, is also rumored to have 12 gigs of RAM, and the OnePlus Open has 16 gigs of RAM. How much of a difference does it make, actually?
Oh, probably not a huge difference, depending on how hard Samsung leans into that AI angle, because we know that AI uses a lot of RAM specifically.
Yeah.
So there is actually one rumor saying that the Fold 6 might get 16 gigs of RAM, but again, it's out there. So
Yeah.
I would say maybe if you buy a version with more storage, you might also
Probably
get
get an
that
upgrade.
upgrade to
Yeah.
to 16 gigs
Yeah.
of RAM, but the base model will probably stick with 12 gigabytes of RAM if you ask me. But yeah, the real difference between 12 gigs and 16 gigs, just for real world
Yeah.
everyday tasks, I would say for most people not really noticeable. But again, we're talking about a foldable here, so the use case is a bit different.
Exactly.
So you might have multitasking, split screen, Samsung supports 3 apps, a floating app.
Floating apps.
All of that requires RAM. So RAM is important, and it's no coincidence that this model comes with 12 gigs of it, which is more than, say, the base model Galaxy S24, which
Yeah.
only has 8. So Samsung can afford that in the Galaxy S24, which is not so multitasking heavy,
Yeah.
but probably not in the Fold.
Not here.
But yeah, that's the RAM situation.
Got it. And what else? Sadly, I think the camera hardware is expected to stay the same.
Yeah, I think like many things are also staying the same, which is I find probably a bit disappointing. Main camera, same triple camera system. Main ultra wide 3 times zoom
Which
cameras.
isn't bad.
No, it's not
It's
bad.
just that it's not like state of the art.
Yeah, the main sensor is not as large as on the Galaxy Ultra. The zoom is not as far. You have 3x compared to 5x on the Galaxy Ultra. So there are some differences that remain, and mostly because it's when you look at it, it's a slim device when you unfold it. So there is not a lot of space to put a periscope camera and a large sensor, and it would be physically hard for Samsung to do this unless they slap like a giant camera on the back, which would
Giant bump, right?
yeah. And the battery is also rumored to remain the same at about 4,400 milliamp hours, which is okay-ish, not great, not particularly amazing, but not bad either. So no changes expected on
I think I
that front.
saw a rumor, I don't know how credible it is, that there's going to be maybe a little bit of an upgrade to the battery capacity, but
Yeah, it's gonna be if there's gonna be a change, it's gonna be a marginal one.
Yeah.
And it might remain the same.
exactly.
And what about the price? The big question.
Big question. Yeah, the price, as far as I know, it's expected to stay the same, $1,800. Sadly, I mean that's still
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
yeah, it's a outstanding price. Not that something like the S24 Ultra is way cheaper, but still. makes a difference.
But we should mention that most people will probably not pay the full price because Samsung has a great trade-in program.
Oh, yeah.
And you can probably save, like if you trade in an older device, you can save up to $800.
Up to $800,
previous year.
If you have the previous Fold, for example.
Yeah, and it's people who already have a Galaxy or any other phone. It's easier to upgrade to with these trade-in deals. So that's pretty good.
Absolutely, you should take advantage of that.
But yeah, if you have to pay the full price, you have to think twice about it.
Tough pill to swallow, yeah.
Yeah. And I also hope that this one weighs a little bit less, the next one, the Fold 6.
I saw some rumors.
Yeah.
Although there are rumors for everything, right?
Yeah.
But one of the rumors says it's gonna become slightly thinner and lighter as well.
Okay, last about this one. So we heard rumors about a cheaper FE style model. FE stands for Fan Edition, which Samsung usually releases those phones at a lower price. Do you think that's actually happening? And we also heard about a crazy rumor about a Fold Ultra, an even more premium one. So is any of that really happening? What do you think?
No.
That's a short and sweet answer.
Educated guess, no. I mean, yeah, the current rumors are that, well, obviously Samsung considered that at some point and maybe even did some work on those projects, and maybe they're not canceled forever, but for the FE, at least, as far as I understand, it's pretty much canceled at this point, or at least paused. And for the Ultra or slash Slim model,
Yeah.
I just couldn't find anything too substantial on that front.
Okay.
So yeah, I wouldn't, have my hopes high for a Ultra model here.
Yeah.
Besides, one of the major barriers to getting this thing is the price, and Ultra model obviously means, okay, Samsung would be looking at, okay, so how do we grow from here, right? What's the next thing? How can we charge more? And they have the opposite problem. Like
They need to sell more. Yeah.
they need to sell more. Exactly. I don't think an Ultra model, to me at least, gonna make more sense when the market starts to adopt these a bit more and they become like, mainstream a little bit, and then boom, here's the next big thing.
Yeah.
So for right now, this is as Ultra as it gets, I think.
So yeah, the problem maybe is just that the form factor is not established yet, and if it was established, you could add more features, but you first have to kind of establish the form
Exactly.
factor.
It doesn't make too much sense to me, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's all about the Galaxy Fold 6. Some upgrades. And then we have the other model, which is the more compact one, is this here baby, the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5.
Yep.
And we're going to have the Z Flip 6 very soon. So what's new about this one? Maybe just starting with a quick summary. Last year was a big year for the Flip because finally it used to have a tiny screen at the front, and Samsung upgraded this to a much bigger screen that you could actually use and do stuff on it, not just see the time. So what do you think about the Flip 6? What is the big thing here?
I'm not really sure if there's going to be a big thing. The most meaningful upgrade I saw in the rumors is that there's going to be a new camera sensor, I believe, up to 50 megapixel one this time, and that makes sense. That would be a welcome upgrade for.
But are the
Flip.
cameras changing? So we have two cameras on the Flip 6, a main camera and an ultra wide camera. Do we get a third camera?
I don't think we're getting a third camera. No.
Okay,
no.
so still two cameras.
Yeah.
Just the main camera is getting a larger sensor.
Should be better quality sensor.
Okay, cool. That's a nice
And high
upgrade.
resolution, so it's going to be a meaningful upgrade to the camera. Otherwise, the internal screen is rumored to remain the same at about 6.7 inches.
Yeah.
And the outer display is rumored to get slightly bigger, remain the same, or get slightly bigger. So, yeah.
So last year we saw this with the Motorola Razr, which was the big competition to the Galaxy Flip. And Motorola kind of eclipsed the Galaxy Flip last year. They launched it a bit earlier. They launched their version a bit earlier. And it had a cover screen that covered the entire front. going all the way to the edges of the screen. And Samsung, you know what, they launched the Flip 5 and it didn't have such a large screen, even though it was a big upgrade. So that was a bit strange. And this year, rumors say that Samsung is finally gonna do this and extend the screen to the very edge, the outer screen. So it would be a bit larger probably, which would be a nice upgrade, but nothing major compared to the Flip 5 again. And something else I heard, which is probably happening, is the Flip 5 is getting a bigger battery, probably, which is a good thing. So the Flip 5 used to have or has a 3,700 milliamp hour battery. The new model is expected to get a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, nice and round number, which is a change of about 10%, slightly less than 10%, but it's a pretty substantial change if you think about it.
For battery life, it's a good upgrade. How do you like the Hinge here?
Oh, the Hinge. Well, for a flip phone, I have used a few, and the Galaxy has a solid hinge compared to the competition, but it's not perfect. It's still like if you hold it at an angle. Right now, I'm holding it at an about 90-degree angle. And if you start to wobble the phone, the Hinge also wobbles a little bit. But it's much better compared to the Motorola Razr, which just feels very weak. So some changes might happen. This might improve a little bit more, but for a flip phone, I think it's pretty solid. In terms of the standards established here.
And these things tend to be both in larger quantities compared to the Fold, right? And I would assume that is because of the lower price.
Oh, definitely. The price is a big factor here. This one is priced at about $1,000, and with deals and price cuts, you can get it for even less. So, which is a pretty good deal. And again, you have the trade-ins, you can get a much lower price on this. So it's much more affordable compared to the Fold. And some people really love this form factor, but it's a very small number of people right now.
And it's a completely different, target, right, compared to the Fold.
One thing I would love to see Samsung do is focus more on those digital well-being sort of features. And I mean, many people use the Flip to kind of cut on their screen time because you can just do basic stuff on the outer screen, and you don't have to unfold the phone. And you kind of no longer obliged to go on Facebook, Instagram, and spend so much time there. So maybe Samsung should embrace that, but that's just one idea.
By making the front cover screen bigger. So you can do more on it.
You can do more on it. And both of them, I should say that we're getting AI, the big word, the trendy word, and it's not Apple Intelligence this time. It's artificial intelligence. We're getting it on the Fold 6 and the Flip 6, of course. And that will include, just quick summary, you have generative edit for photos, so you can move objects, resize objects, which is pretty cool. Then you have the live translate for calls, and then you have the chat assist, which is helps you rewrite your messages, make it a bit more formal, or
chat assist, note assist. The transcription features.
The good Galaxy AI stuff is coming to the Fold.
You're getting here. Plus, they've already announced even more features are going to be AI features. Are going to be introduced with the new Fold 6 and Flip 6. So. We don't know what they are.
Oh, a nice surprise.
It's going to be a surprise. AI surprise.
Cool. So that's I think that's all about the Flip 6.
The new Foldables are almost here. Going to be announced. Currently anticipated. The event is for June 10th. This is what the rumor mill says.
July
10th. And then, given the time frame, they'll probably launch in the second half of July.
And we have to say that last year the Samsung Unpacked event was scheduled for late July, and they're moving it about 2 weeks earlier this year, which is good because they're giving us our summer back.
Thank you, Samsung.
Thank you, Samsung. And now let's talk about the other thing. The other thing is my favorite topic.
It's your area of expertise. The Watch 6, and the expected Watch 7. Tell us what's happening there with the Watch 7.
Okay, so the big thing that's happening is that Samsung is completely changing the lineup and basically adopting the way Apple does things. So it kind of amplifies its portfolio.
Sounds like a Samsung thing to do.
It does, in perfect
That's
honesty.
very true to Samsung.
Yeah, so previously we used to have like two models. We used to have the Classic or the Pro, different names for their premium watch in different years. Last year it was the Classic.
Okay.
And then you had the basic model. So you had the base model
Watch
and
6.
the premium model. Yeah. This year they're going with 3 models. So you have a new model which is gonna be a lower end version, Galaxy Watch FE or Watch 7 FE.
Right.
Then you have the base model, Galaxy Watch 7, and then you're getting a new model which is the Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra.
Ooh.
Basically, this is Apple's lineup. You have the Apple Watch Ultra, you have the regular Apple
Yeah.
Watch, and you have the Apple Watch SE, which
Right.
would be the equivalent to Galaxy Watch FE.
FE, yeah.
So basically, 3 models at 3 different price points.
Okay.
A very Apple-like thing to do for Samsung. But of course, the big news here is the Ultra model, brand
Yeah.
new model for Samsung, and obviously. They used to have the Classic, they used to have the Pro. The Ultra is gonna have an Ultra price, that's for sure. It's the big thing about it is the design, because this thing looks so different from the others. It's a squarish design, a first for Samsung in the recent past. I'm
Are
not
they
even
like
sure.
leaked designs?
Yeah, those are leaked images, of course, not
Okay.
official. We don't have any official information yet. So, but those are pretty credible rumors because they come from a credible leaker.
Oh, is it the one where like the body of the watch is like a little bit squarish, like sort of like Apple Watch
It's a
Ultra
very
style,
quirky design.
but the watch face itself is round.
Yeah, that's exactly what we have. We have a square body and with a round watch face inside it. And rumors,
Very interesting.
rumors even say you might also keep that rotating bezel,
Okay.
but that's not certain.
Right.
So the big news about the Ultra is obviously battery life. So Samsung saw obviously what Apple did with the Ultra, and that's the big problem with smartwatches, right? You have 1-day battery life, and if you want a
The big problem with Apple and Samsung smartwatches.
probably because you have some other watches that don't really have that full smartwatch
Yeah.
operating system, and they have longer battery life. But if you want the operating system,
All the features.
yeah, you're getting on a regular sized watch, you're getting 1-day battery life. And Apple kind of figured it out with the Ultra. They said, we're just gonna make it bigger, get a large battery. And Samsung is doing exactly that with the Apple, Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra. And it's gonna have, rumors say, nearly 600 milliamp hours battery. And if that number doesn't speak anything to you, that's nearly double the battery size on the Galaxy Watch 7, the smaller version. So it's a big change in terms of battery life. It's gonna be a chunky watch, thicker, 47 millimeter size. So the display is gonna be the exact same as on the previous Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. Display size is the
Right.
same,
But the watch itself is going to be bigger.
but the watch itself is gonna be bigger.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's true. And yeah, so that's what you have in terms of exact prices. We don't yet know what they're gonna be, but I would expect Samsung to go slightly below Apple. So I would, my guess would be the Ultra Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra priced at around $600,
Okay.
probably, just a guess. Then you have the Watch 7 priced at about 300, maybe 350, and then you have the FE model at about 250 probably.
Right.
So you're gonna have a very similar pricing and strategy compared to what you have with the Apple competitors.
Yes. And do we know anything about extra features on the Ultra model?
Yeah, I'm not sure about extra features specifically for the Ultra, but we see in these leaked images that you have a new health sensor, new layout for the little sensor on that kind of touches your skin. So this suggests new capabilities. And the big one here that both Apple and Samsung have been trying to figure out in the past few years is blood sugar monitoring. This is obviously going to be huge, not just for diabetics, but just for everyone who is health conscious and wants to kind of keep track of their health and understand their body better. We're not sure if that's actually going to happen, but it's a big possibility. Very exciting if it indeed does. But this might not be just a Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra exclusive. It might come to all Galaxy Watch 7 models.
Yeah.
Maybe not the FE.
Not the FE.
Yeah, but the Watch 7 and the Ultra model are likely to both get this feature, which would be really exciting. So that's the big thing that I'll be looking for in the announcement event.
Right. Is it gonna have like little needles going into your hand? Or...
I hope not. I don't like needles. I think nobody does. Yeah, but we also have to say about the Ultra, so it's gonna weigh a considerable amount. Let's say it's gonna weigh about double the weight of the Galaxy Watch 7. So it's gonna be a chunky and heavy watch, similar to the Apple Watch Ultra.
The Apple Watch Ultra.
Yeah. And of course, what do you think about this lineup?
I'm excited about smartwatches, even though I don't use them. Fun fact: I lived under the impression that Apple's watches were like 1 day battery life, and then the Ultra about 2 days battery life. And I thought, for some reason, I don't know why, that Galaxy watches had longer than that battery life. Maybe in my strange impressions, it was like around 3 to 4 days.
Oh no, that would be too good.
Battery life on the Samsung watch, but yeah, you told me right before we began that it's still 1 day up to day and a half.
Yeah, so
maybe.
with the Classic, you might get a day and a half, maybe 2 if you're using power saving mode, and but hardly.
Yeah.
And the regular model, it just gets a 1 day battery life. So the notable model here was the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, which has a bit of a cult-like status in the world of smartwatches. It was launched 2 years ago, so it's an older watch. But the cool thing about this one had 2 days or even a bit more, maybe 2 days and a half of battery life. Obviously a very chunky watch also.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have the rotating bezel. But just because of the battery life, many people really love that watch.
Right.
And now it's kind of making a return with terms of
Ultra.
battery life in
terms
the
of
Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra.
A spiritual successor.
Yeah, and also I forgot to say the Galaxy Watch 7 Ultra is probably gonna be made of titanium, that new fancy material, which is lighter than stainless steel.
Yeah, so
That's good. And yeah, that's all I have on the Galaxy Watches. Blood sugar monitoring, really exciting, and let's see the Ultra.
Let's see the Ultra. Yeah. And blood sugar monitoring, one last thing. I guess if they're going to make it happen, don't they have to, clear it with some...
With the FDA?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's probably going to be a tough thing to do.
yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure about that. If they're gonna present it as just some form of beta, an experimental feature, or if it's gonna be fully cleared for final use with the FDA. We'll see. That's something that we'll learn at the event.
Interesting.
But that's an interesting question, and we have to keep one thing in mind here, that Samsung likes to introduce new features a bit earlier than say Apple, and it has, for example, the blood pressure monitoring on their watches, but it is tricky. Let's put it this way, it's tricky to use this feature. For example, for blood pressure monitoring, it's not very accurate and it has to be recalibrated to a blood pressure monitor every once in a while. Right. So this feature does exist currently, but I don't think as many people are really using it and benefiting from it.
Like if you have actual problems with your blood pressure, probably don't use Galaxy Watch.
Yeah, you have to be cautious. I wouldn't go as far as to say don't use it, but yeah, you have to be really cautious. And yeah, I personally wouldn't, but yeah, you would want perfect accuracy there. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. And also with the blood pressure monitoring, we have to be kind of aware of that and a bit cautionary. And we have to test it first.
Got it. Yeah. Great. Let's just not. I hope you won't have to calibrate it each month with an actual blood sugar measurement. Yeah, that's gonna hurt a little bit. And maybe we can wrap things up with another product, which is the Galaxy Ring.
Ooh, this one you're excited about, I know.
I don't know, but yeah, a little bit more so than the watches. The Ring, not least because it's expected to probably have a little bit of a longer battery life, at least judging from other smart rings out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Galaxy Ring, we're probably finally gonna, see it a little bit more in person and get like an official launch this time, not just behind, on display.
So do you think you will be able to buy it very soon, or?
The rumors are that it might launch, maybe not in the second half of July, maybe in August.
Okay.
So I think we're getting there.
Okay, it's pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
close, yeah.
We're not exactly sure on the functionality of the ring, although your standard health metrics are probably going to be there.
Right.
Maybe ECG, maybe not super certain at this point. I think they're working on something called the Vitality Score, which I think is similar to Garmin's
Body battery.
Body battery. Yeah, exactly. And of course, everyone is expecting more advanced sleep tracking functionality.
That would be great for the ring.
That's what at least one of the big competitors, the Oura ring, is known for, sleep tracking. So yeah, that is also expected here on the Galaxy ring. Different sizes, as far as I know, 5 through 12, with varying battery capacities inside, most probably. So the larger ones are probably going to fare a little bit better in terms of the battery. Yeah, and if the Oura is any indication, maybe around 4 to 5 days of battery life is going to be reasonable with the ring.
Yeah. So what do you think about the measure? Because I know that you're wearing, obviously, your wedding ring. And what do you think about the measurement process for these rings? Because I have never worn a ring. I'm not a ring person. And whenever I wear a ring, I feel like I have this urge to take it out and this fear that I won't be able to. And this stops me from wearing it. I have this almost paranoid fear of not being able to take it off. But anyway, what do you think about the measurement? Are those standard sizes? How do you get the right size?
Well, with the wedding ring, it was tricky because I had to go back to, to the craftsman to change the size a few times to get it right.
All right.
So, but these, just like with the Oura, and they ship you a measurement kit, right? Just to make sure that you order the right size, because you won't be able to resize the Galaxy ring. That won't work. So but they have measurement tools, sizing kits. So I guess it will be fine. Now, but that feeling that you described where it's uncomfortable, it constantly touches upon other things and you're paranoid that you won't be able to ever take it off. Yeah. I mean, that goes away. You get used to it.
That's good to hear.
You can test it, at certain times to see, I still can take it out. But aside from that, you get used to it. So that's the tricky thing with the ring. You're gonna wear it for a few days and then it just...
Will it have AI?
I don't know about the AI. The watches probably will for the Galaxy ring. In some shape or form, for sure. You cannot do anything without AI these days. So.
Yeah.
For the ring, not much else is known.
What about the price? Do we know something about the price?
No.
We don't know.
All that we can go off of here is Oura's price, let's say, which is $300.
$300.
So around that ballpark is what I would expect the Galaxy ring to cost.
Yeah, I would like to do just a separate episode or maybe just a deeper dive on the ring once it launches, because it's a totally new product. I think many people would be interested to learn more about it. And definitely excited to see what Samsung brings there.
And the Oura has been out for a long time, but that's the first time I think where like a major company is entering this this market with the smart ring. So it's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And I believe that wraps up. I mean, there's also a new Buds Moto something, but who cares?
Yeah.
A lot of products. The Fold 6, the Flip 6, the new watches, 3 new models, and the Galaxy Ring, and the new Buds are all coming. This Unpacked, July 10th, is still the most expected date to take place. Anything else to add?
No, that's it. A big day for Samsung. Looking forward to it.
We're all looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you soon next time.
See ya.